Right, first off, I thought it was a hard-fought game. Credit to Clemson. They did a good job making the plays when necessary throughout the course of the game. They obviously, as we went through it, they were able to hit some explosive plays. They did a good job of negating our run game. They're offensively, they did a good job of being able to work and eat up a lot of clock there at the end of the there in the fourth quarter to try to put the game away. A big run and obviously a couple plays there on the perimeter. Just disappointed in the result. Disappointed for our guys. I thought they played hard. I thought they did fight. It was we had our opportunities. But it's absolute minimum expectation here. We got to go and we got to get the job done. And we had just mistakes that would put us, as we had momentum or good plays. You have a good stop. We'd have either a penalty that extended the drive. We had a couple of negative plays there offensively that put us in way too many third and long situations. We became just totally one-dimensional. In having to drop back, which obviously presented some challenges for us there in protection. But just disappointing that some of the easier things that we could control, we did not do a good enough job with. We had some bad snaps, like I mentioned, some of the penalties. A couple of communication bust. That just when you're playing a good team, obviously it gets magnified that much more. And I thought our guys battled. I was proud of some of the plays that we were able to make, and some of the I thought blocking the extra points, blocking the field goals was something that was really impressive. Big stops in the moment. But so we talk about owning the football, and we had the interception. It was something that was a miscommunication in what the receiver was doing, and obviously Brock trying to throw the ball on time, but that big play with turnover there, and then we don't think we created the takeaway, which is something that we continue to emphasize. And we had a few potential opportunities, but didn't finish the play. So we got to be better in that regards, and just like I told the team, we've got to do the simple things better. And it's coaching, it's players, it's all ownership for all of us. As we try to continue to emphasize the fundamental approach and continuing to put ourselves in position. And what's frustrating is guys that have played a lot of ball that we're making some having some plays that are really costly in moments. And it's not from a lack of want to, it's not from a lack of the work, but just in the moment, just unfortunate things that are happening that are hurting us overall as a team. And so we all have to get better. Going into a bye week, we've got a lot of work to do, and so we'll be back in tomorrow. Learn from mistakes. Continue to self-eval of where we are. I was proud of some of the young guys that you see that have stepped up and taking advantage of opportunities, and we're going to continue to push opportunities because at the end of the day, we left too many plays out there on the field that we've got to be better at. And so whatever that takes, whatever that's got to look like, we got to get it done.
First question will be Chris, top left.
What were your general thoughts on Brock's play, how he handled the offense, how he handled it this evening, and just how they were playing for him?
Yeah, I thought he did a very solid job. He put in a lot of work in his preparation. I appreciated his energy. He showed toughness throughout the course of the game. Made some really good plays, and obviously there's few just in just like of course all games that you'd like to have back, but I felt his presence was was really good. You know, very encouraging to the guys, you know, even after a bad play. But you know, we also got to, you know, we gotta make plays around him as well, and you know, we gotta be able to get the run game going and establish to take some pressure off the quarterbacks, and you know, obviously takes pressure off the offensive line there in some of those situations you know, with the pass rush. So, you know, but I thought he did a good job, and they'll go back and watch, you know, a lot more of the finer details and you know, just areas where we're going to continue to grow and get better.
I'll go over to the right, third row for Ira.
Can you take solace in what the red zone defense was when on the night we give up 5 yards?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that this is an offense that's been playing, you know, at a pretty high level, and you know, I thought our guys, you know, there were some plays that, you know, some unnecessary big plays that we gave up, you know, but you know, I did really like, you know, the way that they battled, you know, down in the red zone, and you know, obviously. Still plays that we've got to be able to finish on, but you know, I thought it showed grit, you know, in how those guys were able to respond in challenging situations.
All right, we'll go to Liam, third row in the middle.
Mike, you said that the tight end room had to be better earlier this week. Landon comes up and leads the team in receiving, and Amari makes the touchdown. What did you see from those young guys at the tight end role today?
Well, I mean, a couple guys try to take advantage of, you know, of the opportunity, and you know, it's, you know, there's still a lot of areas where those guys have to grow, and you know, what they've got to do. But you know, you saw them take positive steps, and you know, obviously there'll be a lot of things in the run game that we get to continue to coach, and just, you know, understanding and communication. You know, some of those things hurt us, you know, throughout the course of the night. So those guys, it's a challenge to them to continue to make sure they're spending that time just to build their confidence there in the moment. But yeah, there were definitely some positives, you know, from that room that we'll be able to take, and for all those guys to grow from.
We'll go down a row for Kurt.
You've talked about kind of with those young guys, wanted to see certain things in practice before you feel comfortable putting them in the game, see how they handle that. Is there any, I mean, with the spark some of those guys and Brock somewhat brought at times tonight, is there maybe you thinking about using them earlier, or read about maybe not seeing what they could bring something earlier in the season?
What are you saying, do I regret?
Maybe not seeing if the younger guys or Brock could have brought some.
You know, obviously there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, you always, I promise you, we want to do everything in our power to win a game, and you know, we're working our butt off to make sure that we're doing that. And yes, it's you know, with the, you know, it's the balance of things to help you operate and making sure that you know, we can. You know, we had some mistakes that showed up because of maybe not as experienced in communication or situations, and you know, things where we're gonna have to be better. And those guys are growing through it, but you know, I'm glad that they did what they did with the opportunity they had tonight, and you know, obviously got to continue to grow them throughout practice.
I'll go back middle for Jordan.
Coach, after SMU, you said that you needed your team to have a better response, but you guys obviously were down 17-0 in the first quarter. What did you make of the slow start, and how come you think the guys came out so flat?
I don't think you say they came out flat. I don't think they came out, you know, flat. I don't think we, you know, executed as well as we needed to. I don't, you know, actually gave up, you know, a couple big plays. We had to, you know, had to turn over them, and it's, but I think our guys were, you know, were excited for the opportunity to play. We didn't, you know, obviously we didn't start the way we wanted to, but I wouldn't say that they came out flat. We just, you know, did not. We just didn't get off the start that we needed, and you know, but I thought our guys did fight and respond, and so we got to be better in how we start games.
We'll go to the right for Corey.
Mike, is there a way, you know, you look at Cade, he had 11 rushes. I think Brock had 3 real rushes, and maybe only one of them was an actual called rush. Is there a way to get his legs more involved to try to help this running game get going in any way?
I mean, that's something we'll continue to evaluate. And there's, you know, we did have that as a thought. You know, there were certain looks that we wanted to be able to try to, you know, create that. But you know, unfortunately, didn't get to that, as much tonight, so we'll continue to evaluate all those things.
All right, stay over there for Ira.
And I guess just, with the running game struggles, I mean, is it a combination of several things, or are you isolated, or is it different things in different situations?
There are combinations at times. I mean, just, I'd like to say there's just one specific problem, but I mean, there's been times that, we've had, leverage issues. We've had, obviously things in our technique. We've had track issues at times. Obviously you gotta give credit, they did a good job in a couple pressures of, forcing the TFL with a corner cat, I know on one, that kind of got us, in that moment, but, it's all three, it still gets to all three levels, and, there's, certain times where, they're forcing, I say force, I mean, they're adding, an extra hat to a scheme that we might have that might force them all out on the perimeter. We have not been as good as we need to be, whenever that ball does get to the perimeter to force teams to soften up on the edges. So those are all things that we can, it all benefits each other. If you can take advantage of playing the game horizontally whenever you have numbers, obviously that it loosens the box and takes a little bit of pressure off those guys up front. But yeah, it's a lot of factors in being able to create movement, create space. Sometimes there's times that we're on the right guys, but if you don't create space, not a big area to run. But there's too many no gain or 1 yard gain runs.
All right, we'll go fourth row, middle left.
So Clemson has scored at least 40 points in their last 3 games. How are you feeling right now about Florida State kind of ruining that streak and the confidence that must give your team?
Well, obviously we're here to win the game, and we did not do and formal enough to do that. I thought our guys, they responded in challenging situations. I thought they fought, throughout the game. I was believing throughout it that we were going to find a way to make that next play, and but unfortunately, they did what they needed to do to get the win, but there were some good moments, in the game. There's good things we can take from it, individually, but also just situationally. So we'll continue to work and be better.
All right, come back down for Kurt.
The timeout on defense near the end of the first half. I know you often, pretty much always, are valuing trying to steal that extra possession, get the ball back if you can, to do what you can with the 1 minute drill. Is that something? It seems like, is that just that is your mindset regardless of anything else? You're not going to maybe change your thinking on that based on how your team is performing in a given moment or a given season?
I'm trying to create extra possessions.
Yeah, like calling the timeout to try to get the ball back in the last minute of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to maximize possessions. Obviously when you were getting the ball there in the second half, if we get an opportunity to get another possession, get an opportunity to double up, front, first, at the end of the first half and the second half. It's something we've been very successful at, throughout the years. And you still got to push and fight to go win the game, and that's what we're trying to do. Try to maximize every potential advantage or potential opportunity to do that. And unfortunately, they were able to get down and go score there late. And we weren't able to answer it there in the second, coming out of the second half.
All right, next will be Corey, back over to the right.
Mike, considering Brock's last 2 starts, and just the almost impossible situation he was put in with those 2, how much can it help him moving forward? I know he didn't win, I know it's only 13 points, but he made some real plays in real moments, 3rd down throws, 4th down throws, runs for 1st down, to give him that confidence moving forward where he could be the guy in this program for a years to come.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think with each experience, to see growth, to see improvement, he's very confident in what he does, and even in some of those challenging situations after interception, where there was miscommunication. I mean, it was there wasn't a sense of panic with them. It was, you know, ownership in both, you know, him and the receiver, and now let's go get it fixed, get better. And, you know, I think that, he's got a great demeanor about him. You know, I am proud of him for how he prepared. I'm proud of Luke for how he prepared. You know, that, there was even, you know, times that, you know, going into it, you know, potentially getting him, you know, an opportunity throughout it. Obviously, the game, you know, how it played in the kind of sequence, you know, elected not to do that, you know, here for this one. But I'm excited about that room, and I think those guys, you know, you see Brock with, you know, now, I guess it's his 4th game under his belt of you know, experience. But you know, I thought he did some better things than what he showed in his last start, and fully expect him to take some positive steps moving forward, because, you know, he shows you flashes of what he's capable of.
All right, we got time for 2 more. We'll go back to the middle for Jordan.
Coach, 7 penalties tonight. You mentioned a little bit earlier, but how much did that kind of slow you guys down, and what were some of the reasons for those penalties today?
You know, some of them, you know, it's disappointing. I don't know, you know, the focus and emphasis on you know, situational, you know, situational penalties on 3rd downs. You know, signal it to them. You know, we remind them it's the first day. It's one of the first things we talk about. You know, in fall camp of points of emphasis on every day that we practice. You know, we emphasize that, and it's a lapse in focus, not intentional. You know, nobody ever wants to do that, but you know, that's where we have to be better. And you know, when you sit there and you see that, and that shows up, I mean, it's, you know, it's extremely challenging. And you know, we had a couple holding calls that you put us in long yard situations, had a couple bad snaps. You know, it's somebody that doesn't ever have those. I mean, it's not like, you know, he's not. You know, we've had 3 bad snaps, you know, in the last couple games, and I couldn't tell you how many we had in the last, you know, year and a half, 2 years. And I mean, those are, you know, frustrating, you know, things that have showed up that you know, we're still working, you know, every day to be better in those situations, and you know, to focus on those fundamentals. But you know, it's got to show up in the game.
All right, last one. We'll go to Ira on your right.
With another off week ahead, just kind of what's the approach in terms of, I'm sure guys are beat up, but also, you know, probably mentally fatigued during the first half of the season. What's the approach this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, obviously there's going to be, you know, guys will get a few days off. We come back with a Friday game, so it's going to be a little bit shorter, you know, coming back that next week. But you know, we've got to be able to rest the bodies. You know, we've lost a lot of guys this year. I mean, it's, you know, with injuries, the different lineups, and you know, what that's looked like. You know, we try to get guys, you know, back and healed up if possible, and then, you know, continuing to grow and develop, you know, the guys that we have, you know, for our next game. And you know, like I mentioned, there's a lot of evaluation of continuing to see, you know, what are the things that we've done that can bring spark, that can bring you know, positive execution, you know, there in the moment, and that can allow this team to put itself in a better position to go win games. And that's what we absolutely have to get done. And you know, it's disappointing in the outcomes that we've seen, because I believe we're better, and you know, it's just, you know, for whatever reason, you know, those mistakes that and you know, obviously guys, you know, some guys take advantage of opportunities, some guys that you know, have not. And you know, it's coaches, it's our job to evaluate it and to put our guys in the best position with the players that we have. And you know, I do believe in those guys, and I believe in what they can do, and we've got to do a better job as a staff and making sure that you know, that shows up on game day. And so, you know, they will get a little bit of time down, you know, off. Obviously, we've got a lot of work in recruiting, you know, here with, you know, going out and seeing games, you know, here this week, you know, at the end of it. But you know, it's gonna be a big push on continued emphasis on fundamentals and things that are hurting us, you know, in the course of these contests, and going to get better at it.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.